Hello folks, Glenn from Training Centre Harvey Bay again. The topic of today's conversation is the EpiPen, what it's used for, how to use it. First of all, I think a lot of people get confused about what anaphylaxis is. So we've been stung by a bee, localised reaction. Second time we're stung by a bee, more of a generalised reaction, antihistamine. Unfortunately for some people they develop anaphylaxis. Now what is anaphylaxis? It's an excessive release of the body has certain mediators, it releases those mediators to excess, histamine, IgE, mast cells. The end result is increased permeability of the millions of permeable membranes on the blood vessels, resulting in leakage of plasma from the blood vessels into the tissues. The tissues swell up, your tongue swell up, your lips swell up, but essentially you're dying of drop in blood pressure. So anaphylaxis is death by drop in blood pressure, medically known as cerebral shock. So if you lay them flat and raise their legs, that's called an autotransfusion. That might give them some hope and increase their cardiac output. So lay them flat, raise their legs, unless you're short of breath, let them sit up. Okay, the next thing, we've got an EpiPen. So here's our EpiPen, and it's spring-loaded, single-use intramuscular injection, 0.3 ml 1 to 1,000 for an adult, less than 25 kilo, 0.15 of 1 to 1,000. So let's have a look at this one. First thing, I know everyone says, and it's true, orange to thigh, blue to sky, vastus lateralis, middle outer quadrant, not through cargo pants, not through seams, but through normal clothing is fine. So what we're going to do is hold it like that, take off the safety pin, push hard till it clicks. When it clicks, count 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and now it's a sharps container. What does adrenaline do to save the person suffering anaphylactic reaction? First thing it does, it has an alpha response. It causes peripheral vasoconstriction, shuts down all those blood vessels, constricts those blood vessels. That's the alpha response. B1 is it makes the heart beat a little bit harder and faster, and B2 is it bronchodilates or opens up the airways. And look, the adrenaline's a bit concerning. People don't realise adrenaline's got a very short half-life. So within a very short period of time, the person again becomes, suffering shortness of breath, dizziness, wheezing, whatever, because the adrenaline's wore off, but the foreign protein or the allergen or whatever you want to call it is in the body for 4 to 6 hours. So you really need to carry 2 or 3 pens minimum plus some non-drowsy antihistamines. Right, let's do this. So first thing is, hopefully we've got 2 or 3 pens. I've got the EpiPen, so push hard 1 and 2 and 3. Suddenly I feel a bit better, I feel like I'm improving. Then I'm at, say, Burham Heads in Queensland, 25 minutes before the ambulance gets to me. After 12 minutes I'm not feeling well again. I'm starting to go back in anaphylaxis. You better hope you've got a second pen and use the alternate thigh, because it could be a bit of ischemia from the adrenaline in that thigh. So I like to slap it. People still don't do that. I do slap it. I give the injection, 1 and 2 and 3. Now it's a sharps container. I might do that again. That'll get back into the circulation faster, I think, anyway. You don't have to do that. So that's how we give the EpiPen, and don't be afraid if they're deteriorating to give another 1 or 2 plus the antihistamine per oral if they can swallow it. And we're hoping that keeps them alive until the ambulance turns up. The ambulance shouldn't walk them to the stretcher either. They should be careful about hypotension, all those sorts of things. Right, there is a second pen. That second pen's called the EpiPen. So the EpiPen comes in roughly 3 sizes. You've got probably pediatric, juvenile, and then over 60 kilos is normally for an adult. The only benefit of the EpiPen is quite complicated. The only benefit of the EpiPen is if you're over 60 kilos, it's actually 0.5 of a mil of 1 in 1,000 adrenaline. So that's a pretty big benefit. The other one, maybe not so good. I'd stick with the EpiPen. The thing with these, they're quite confusing. For example, to give it, you've got to pull off the black bit. There's also a grey bit there. Then you've got to pull off this bit off that end. Then you've got to put it there. Then you've got to inject it and count to 3, 1 and 2 and 3. So when you take it out, the needle's exposed. So you put that on there to make sure that's actually like a sharps container. Not bad, not great. If you can't get an EpiPen, probably that. If you're over 60 kilos, there are some benefits to that one. Okay, so I hope that's a bit of a quick overview of anaphylaxis, which is actually distributive shock. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next topic.